Hello, this is Janila, the person behind Crafty Crochet Castle, and in this video I'm going to show you the pattern to crochet the Snowman and Snowwoman coasters. This is a beginner friendly tutorial and the pattern is intermediate as well. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to my channel to watch more pattern tutorials. I hope you would crochet this along with me. To crochet the Snowman and Snowwoman coasters, I'm using 100% cotton yarn in worsted weight in all the 5 colors: orange, red, brown, white and black. It is always recommended to use 100% cotton yarn while you're crocheting coasters. You would also need a 4.5 mm crochet hook, scissors, yarn needle, stitch markers, and I'm using a 10 mm safety ice here. You can also use a black yarn and needle instead of ice, and we would need some polyfill stuffing. The details are in the description box below. First, let us crochet the nose for our snowman. So I'm starting with my orange yarn. I'm going to do a slip knot. To do a slip knot, I'm going to wrap the yarn around my 2 fingers like this and cross it at the point where both the yarn meets. Next, I'm going to pinch it at this point, insert my hook inside this, yarn over and bring up a loop and pull this tight. So now we have made a loop on the hook. Make sure the loop is tight so that our tension is good, and then we can start working our chains. To do a chain, I'm going to yarn over and pull through the loop on the hook. So there we made our first chain. For the pattern of the nose, I'm going to do a total of 3 chains. So here I'll be doing 2 more chains. So now on the second chain from the hook, so this is the first chain from the hook and this is the second chain from the hook. Here I will do a slip stitch. To do a slip stitch, I'm going to insert my hook in here, yarn over, bring a loop, and I'm going to bring the loop through the loop on the hook. This stitch is called as the slip stitch. Now we'll have 1 more chain remaining over here. In this chain, I will do a single crochet. To do a single crochet, I'm going to insert my hook in here, yarn over and bring a loop. So now I'll have 2 loops on my hook. I'll yarn over and bring the loop through both the loops on the hook. So this is called as a single crochet, and here we have finished the nose for our snowman. So I'm going to finish it off over here. To finish it off, I'm going to trim the yarn over here. Next, I'm going to yarn over and pull through the loop on the hook all the way through and tighten this up. So there we have completed the nose. Now let us crochet the head of our snowman. So I'm taking my white yarn. First, I'm going to do a magic circle. To do a magic circle, I'm going to wrap the yarn around 2 fingers like this and cross it over at the point where both the yarn meets. Next, I'm going to pinch it at this point. Take my fingers out of the loop over here, insert my hook through this, yarn over and bring up a loop. Now, instead of pulling this tight, I'm just going to hold it here and do a yarn over and pull through the loop. So there we have formed a magic circle. This ring is adjustable and we'll be working a round 1 inside this. For round 1, I'll be doing 8 single crochet inside this ring. So for the pattern of the head, we'll be working in rounds, and I'm not going to join at the end of each round unless I mention it. After completing 8 single crochet, our project looks like this. Now we can pull this tail to close the opening. And there we have completed our round 1. Now let's start working on round 2. For round 2, I'll be doing 2 single crochet in every stitch around. So this is my first stitch over here. In this stitch, I will do 2 single crochet in the same stitch. And in my next stitch, I'll do 2 single crochet in the same stitch as well, and I will repeat this for the entire round. This round will have a total of 16 single crochet. I'm going to use a stitch marker to mark the end of each round. Now let's start working on round 3. For round 3, in my very next stitch over here, I'll do 2 single crochet in the same stitch. And I will do 1 single crochet in the next stitch. So this will be the pattern for the round. The pattern is 2 single crochet in my next stitch, followed by 1 single crochet in the next stitch. I'll repeat this pattern for the entire round, and this round will have a total of 24 single crochet. Now for the next 5 rounds, that is from round 4 to round 8, I'll be following the same pattern. The pattern is 1 single crochet in every stitch around. Each round will have a total of 24 single crochet. So I suggest you to complete a round, move the stitch marker to the last stitch of that round, and then complete a total of 5 rounds in this manner. If you do not have a stitch marker, and if you're counting it in your head, you can do a total of 120 stitches, and I'll meet you after I'm done with 5 rounds. After completing round 8, our project looks like this. Now let's work on round 9. For round 9, I'm going to start with a single crochet decrease. To do a single crochet decrease, I'm going to insert my hook in the stitch, yarn over, and bring a loop. Instead of finishing this single crochet, I'm going to insert my hook inside the next stitch, yarn over, and bring up a loop. So now I'll have 3 loops on the hook worked across 2 stitches on the bottom. I'm going to yarn over and bring a loop through all 3 loops on the hook. So this stitch is called as a single crochet decrease or single crochet 2 together. We have worked up on 2 stitches, but we have completed it as 1 stitch. So now after single crochet decrease, I will do 1 single crochet in my next stitch. So this will be the repeat pattern for the round. The repeat pattern is a single crochet decrease followed by a single crochet in the next stitch. I'll be repeating this for the entire round, and this round will have a total of 16 stitches. After completing round 9, I'm going to put a pause to my project so that we can finish the face details for our snowman. So you can use safety eyes if you would prefer that, or you can use a black yarn and needle to embroider the eyes. So I'm going to embroider the eyes in round 5. If you're using safety eyes, you can use it between round 4 and 5. Next, I'm going to embroider the mouth. I'll be embroidering the mouth in round 8. Next, we can attach the nose in between round 6 and 7. So you can use a yarn needle and sew this up as well. After attaching the nose, let's fill the head up with some polyfill stuffing. Now let us work on the last round, which is round 10. For round 10, I will do single crochet decrease 8 times. After my 8th stitch over here, I'm going to join with a slip stitch in my next stitch and finish off over here, leaving a long tail. Now let us see how to close this opening. For that, I'm going to thread the tail in a yarn needle, and I'm going to run the needle through the front loops remaining of all the stitches remaining in the last round. So this is the front loop. So once we've run our needle through all the stitches, pull this tight. So there, our opening has closed. Now secure this with a knot. We can leave the tail in as such because we'll be using this tail to attach our snowman head. Now let us crochet the coaster body. So I'm taking my white yarn over here. I'll do a magic circle, chain 2. This chain 2 is not to be considered as a stitch, and I will do 12 double crochet inside this ring. To do a double crochet, I'm going to yarn over, insert my hook in here, yarn over and bring a loop. I'll have 3 loops on my hook. I'll yarn over, pull through 2 loops. I'll have 2 loops remaining on the hook. I'll yarn over and pull through both the loops. This stitch is called as the double crochet. Now I'll do 11 more double crochet inside the ring. For the pattern of the coaster body, we'll be working in rounds, and we will be joining at the end of each round. Now I'm going to join at the top of the chain 2 over here with a slip stitch. So there we have completed round 1. Now for round 2, I'll do chain 3. This chain 3 is not a stitch. Now I'll do 2 double crochet in every stitch around. So this round will have a total of 24 double crochet. So in my very first stitch, I'm doing 2 double crochet here. And I will do 2 double crochet in every stitch like this. I'll meet you at the end of this round. At the end of round 2, I'm going to join on the top of chain 3 over here with a slip stitch. Now let's start working on round 3. For round 3, I'll start off with chain 3. This chain is not to be considered as a stitch. Now on my very next stitch, I will do 2 double crochet in the same stitch. And in the next stitch, I will do 1 double crochet. So this is going to be the repeat pattern for the round. The repeat pattern is 2 double crochet in the next stitch, followed by 1 double crochet in the next stitch. This round will have a total of 36 double crochet, and I'll meet you after I complete the repeat pattern for all the stitches in the round. At the end of round 3, I'm going to join at the top of the chain 3 over here with a slip stitch. Now let's start working on round 4. This is going to be the last round for our coaster. So I'll do chain 4. This chain 4 is to be considered as a double crochet and a chain 1. So now in my next stitch, I'll do a puff stitch. To do a puff stitch, I'm going to yarn over, insert my hook in the next stitch, yarn over and bring up a loop. Make sure to bring the loop all the way up so everything is in the same position and your hook is able to move freely. Now we'll have 3 loops on the hook. So I'm going to yarn over again, insert my hook in the same stitch, yarn over and bring up a loop, and also bring this loop all the way up. We have 5 loops on a hook now. I'm going to do yarn over, insert my hook in the same stitch, yarn over and bring up a loop. We have 7 loops now, and I'm going to do it one last time. Yarn over, insert my hook, yarn over and bring up a loop. So now we have a total of 9 loops on the hook. Make sure you pull all the loops up so that you have enough space for your hook to move freely. So once when you have 9 loops on the hook, I'm going to yarn over, and this time I'm going to bring this yarn through all the loops on the hook at once. So there we've made our puff stitch, and I'm going to finish the stitch with a chain 1 to secure it. So there, this is the puff stitch. Next I'm going to do a chain 1. Now in my next stitch, I'll be doing 1 double crochet. and I will do a chain 1 again. Now I'm going to skip this next stitch, and on the next stitch I will be doing a double crochet. And I will do a chain 1 and a puff stitch in the next stitch. After completing the puff stitch, I'm going to do chain 1 again, and I will do a double crochet in my next stitch. Next I will do chain 1, skip the next stitch, and from here our repeat pattern would begin. The repeat pattern would be a double crochet in the next stitch, followed by chain 1 and a puff stitch in the next stitch, followed by chain 1 and a double crochet in the next stitch, followed by chain 1 and skip the next stitch. So I'll repeat the repeat pattern for this entire round, and I'll meet you at the end of round 4. So here I have completed the repeat pattern of the round. So the repeat pattern ends with a chain 1 and a skip the next stitch. So at this time I'm going to join with a slip stitch in top of chain 3. We did chain 4 earlier, so remember to do at the top of chain 3 and leave the chain 1 alone over here. So now at this point we can finish off over here leaving a long tail, and we can weave the tail in. So there we have completed the body portion for our snowman, which is going to be our coaster. Don't you think these little puff stitches over here look like little balls of snow? So now let me show you how to weave in the tails. To weave in the tail, I'm going to thread the tail in a yarn needle, and I'm going to turn it to the wrong side. I'm going to run the needle across the loops over here. So now I'm going to run the needle across this side. And once when you think you've covered enough distance, you can turn your work over, and this time you can run the needle through different loops. Make sure you're not pulling the work too tight, because we do not want our work to be scrunched up. So once when you think you've weaved in enough, you can take the needle out, make sure to stretch the piece, and then trim it off over here. So there we have weaved in one tail. Make sure to weave in the other tail as well. Now let us crochet the stick hands. So I'm taking my brown yarn over here. I'll start off with chain 10. On the second chain from the hook, I will do a slip stitch, and I will do a slip stitch in the next 3 chains. Now I'll do chain 5 over here. On the second chain from the hook, I will do 1 slip stitch, and I will do a slip stitch in the next 3 chains. This is for the next branch in the stick hands. Now let's start working on the initial chain that we made over here. So on the next chain, I will do 1 slip stitch, and I will do a slip stitch in the next 3 chains. Now we'll be down to the last chain in the chain over here, and I will do a single crochet over here. And I will finish off over here leaving a long tail. So there we have completed 1 stick hand. Make sure to crochet 2 stick hands for each coaster. Now let us crochet the top hat. I'm starting with a black yarn. I'll do a magic circle followed by 8 single crochet inside the ring. This round will have a total of 8 single crochet. For the pattern of the top hat also, we'll be working in rounds, and I'm not going to join at the end of each round unless I mention it. For round 2, I'll do 2 single crochet in every stitch around. This round will have a total of 16 single crochet. At the end of round 2, I'm going to join with a slip stitch to my very first SC over here. Now let's work on round 3. For round 3, I will do chain 1, and this time I'll be working only on the back loops. So this is the front loops and this is the back loops. When we are working a stitch, we'll work on both the loops, but for this entire round, we'll be working on the back loops only. So I will do 1 single crochet in every stitch around. This round will also have a total of 16 single crochet. Because we've used only the back loops only, we have this beautiful ridge over here. Remember, we have a chain 1 over here, so skip this chain 1 and work on the single crochet for the next round. So for the next round, which is round 4, I will do a single crochet decrease first, followed by 1 single crochet in the next 2 stitches. I'll be repeating this pattern for the round. The pattern is single crochet decrease followed by 1 single crochet in the next 2 stitches. This round will have a total of 12 stitches. I'll be changing my color over here. So to change the color, I will use the last stitch in this round. I'm going to change my color to red over here. To change the color, I'm going to work the last stitch over here. Instead of finishing this single crochet with a black yarn, I'm going to bring my red yarn over here and I'm going to finish up this single crochet with the new color yarn. So there we have changed color. Now I'll be working my round 5. I'll do 1 single crochet in every stitch around. And for the next round, which is round 6, I'll be working on the black yarn. So in the last stitch of round 5, I'll be changing my yarn to black once again. So there we worked 1 round in red. You can choose to work in the same color as well. So for round 6, I'll be working only on the front loops only. This stitch is called the front loops only. Round 6, I'll be working 1 single crochet worked in the front loops only for this entire round. Now for the last round, which is round 7, I'll be working 2 single crochet in every stitch around. After completing 24 single crochet, I'm going to join with a slip stitch and finish off over here, leaving a long tail. We can finish off the other yarns as well. So there we have crocheted the top hat for a snowman. Now let us crochet a pom-pom hat for a snow woman. So I'm going to leave a long tail over here, do a slip knot followed by chain to 10. So on the third chain from the hook, I will do a half double crochet and I will do one half double crochet in the remaining chains. So there we have completed row 1. Now let's work on row 2. For row 2, I will do chain 2, turn my work over, and this time I'll be working only on the back loops. So I will do one half double crochet in each stitch worked in the back loops only. So this round will also have a total of 8 half double crochet. So there we have this beautiful ribbing over here. Now for row 3, I'll do chain 2, turn my work over, and this time I will work one half double crochet in the front loops only for every stitch over here. So this stitch is called as the front loop and this is the back loop. I'll be working in the front loops only. Now we have the ribbing on the other side as well. The side with the ribbing will be on the outside of the hat and this side is the wrong side for the hat. So now I'm going to repeat row 2 and 3 4 more times till I reach row 11, and I'll meet you after I complete row 11. After completing 11 rows, our pom-pom hat looks like this. One side has many ridges over here and the other side looks like this. This is the wrong side. So now after completing 11 rows, I'm going to finish off over here, leaving a long tail. So now let's see how to finish this into a hat. So I'm going to thread this tail in a yarn needle. Fold the rectangle in half so that the rib side is facing outside, and you can sew these two sides together. I'm going to use only the back loops in one side and I'm going to sew it like this. So once you have sewn the sides, you can secure it with a knot over here. So there we have a little ribbed edge to this side as well. Now let's close the top of the hat. To close the top of the hat, I'm using the same yarn and I'm going to do running stitches over here along the top edge. So once you've put running stitch across all the edges, pull this tight. So our hat opening has closed. You can secure this with a knot as well. So we have completed the hat. You can fold this edge of the hat like this so that it looks nice and beautiful, and you can attach a pom-pom to the top of the hat if you would prefer that. To do a small pom-pom, I'm going to take my white yarn and I'm going to wrap it around my 2 fingers like this several times. You can also use a Pom Pom maker, but if you don't have a Pom Pom maker, you can try this method. Once you've wrapped it around a few times, you can trim the yarn over here and carefully remove it and place it. Make sure it does not come out. Now take another piece of white thread and cut it out. Place this on top of the white thread and secure it in the center with a knot. So now once you have secured it, make sure to cut out all the folded edges over here. So make sure to cut all the yarn. You can fluff this out and trim it off. You have made a tiny pom-pom. You can brush this out to separate the strands so that a pom-pom looks very fluffy as well. And then you can attach it on top of a hat. Now let us assemble the snowman. So first I have 2 snowman heads over here and a top hat and a pom-pom hat. So for one of the head, I'm going to take this top hat, position it in place on top of the head and sew it up. I'm going to use the long tail from the top hat, and while sewing it up, I'm going to use these loops to attach it. The back loops remaining in this round. In the same manner, I'm going to take the pom-pom hat. Make sure to fold your hat like this, place it on top, and you can sew it up over here. I'm going to sew it up along this side. Make sure to add a little stuffing inside your hats so that the hat retain its shape. Stuff very lightly over there, and you can attach the hats to the heads. After assembling the heads, I'm going to thread the tail in a yarn needle. Position the head in any place in a coaster body and then sew it up. You can place it like this and sew the head onto a coaster. I would like our snowman coasters to be facing upwards so that this alone can be a decoration as well. So there we have attached our head to the coaster body. The last step is to take the stick hands, position it in either side of the body and sew it like this. I'll meet you after I complete this assembly. So here I have completed the Snowman and Snowwoman coasters. I hope you enjoy crocheting this along with me. Please show your support by subscribing to my YouTube channel. Thank you for watching.